Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. There is this one Trini man who is indirectly bringing up Jamaica. And by the way, for those people who are reacting, please be honest with your audience. Okay, don't put fake smiles. Don't be fond of putting up fake smiles. They can already see, okay, that you are faking up. Just be real, be flexible, and they will know. Okay, now let us go on. Where was I? I was talking about this Trini man. And why am I talking about this Trini man? And I have never been to Trinidad or Jamaica. Why am I talking about either of these two countries? Either way, it's because they are on the internet and on this platform. We are given a platform to air out our opinions. And for that matter, please, God help me so that I visit this island, Caribbean, so that I visit Jamaica. Jamaica is one of my favorite. It's my favorite country. So help me God, so that I don't spend years here talking every day and reacting on countries that I have never been. You know, it's somehow doesn't sound so good. But either way, I know I'll come there. One day I'll go. Now, where were we? Now, there is this one Trini man, ladies and gentlemen. There is this one Trini man who was reacting about Burna Boy when he went to Tobago, he went to Trinidad, then ultimately he went to Jamaica. When he went to Tobago, he performed, he got paid.
Burna Boy came down here, he went to Tobago and performed. He didn't just perform randomly in Tobago.
Then later on, he remembered that he was to perform in Trinidad. So he went to Trinidad, performed, and got paid, ladies and gentlemen. And either one of the two islands, he performed twice in one of the two islands. But when he went to Jamaica, now that's when things blew up, ladies and gentlemen.
This time he was in Trinidad, perform, make a boatload of money. Look around.
Ladies and gentlemen, he went to Trinidad, made money, looked around, and then he left. He went to Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to play along that clip. Okay, just wait along. Let me clarify something here. Okay, someone is asking why I am keeping these clips very short. Okay, I am keeping these clips very short because this is a reactions. Okay, and in the reaction, you have to be the main focus. You have to be the main focus. You have to add enough commentary. You have to add value into that particular video or reaction video that you're reacting on. You have to put heavy and enough value into that one particular video. Ladies and gentlemen, it must be educative content. Okay, that is why I am adding enough commentary in this one particular video, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and of course after he left Tobago, he went to Trinidad. What happened when he left to Trinidad? Just hear what this guy is saying. Yeah, a minute.
Going to Jamaica to perform, and these are the headlines. Burna Boy falls in love with Jamaica, seeks to purchase.
After listening to these clips, okay, after listening to this Trini man and how he is indirectly picking up Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen, yes, some people might have had, negative experiences or bad experiences with a few Jamaicans. Okay, that's how the world is. The world is full of good and bad people. Okay, but those few bad Jamaicans that you met, that is not a clear representation of a whole Jamaicans, ladies and gentlemen. They are Jamaican people that are really good, really supportive. They are morally good people, ladies and gentlemen. Just because you might have met some few bad Jamaicans, it's just something that I'm just highlighting. I know it has nothing to do with the clip, but it's just something that I just want to highlight, and I want the world to understand something here. Okay, because we have had people going to Jamaica, meeting some very few bad people in Jamaica, and then come back, and then they want to clear a picture. They want to they want to put a picture of a whole Jamaica as a country. They want to judge a country by just a few people that they have met. The same thing that has also happened here in Kenya. You might come here in Kenya and meet some few bad Kenyans, and then you think that the whole Kenyans are bad people. No, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, yes, you might even meet the government, or you might even meet maybe a bad police officer who will harass you. Okay, but you also understand there is the people and there is also the government. Okay, try to differentiate the two things. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now let's go to this Trini man. That was just by the way. Okay, this Trini man. And someone might ask, why am I keeping these clips very short? I'm going to explain. Okay, he's saying that Burna Boy came to Jamaica and wants to purchase a home. So I'm even asking myself, is it the turnout? Maybe the turnout was very good. The turnout in Jamaica was very, very good, ladies and gentlemen. I say it and I will always say, and I'm so happy that I always find videos that support my sentiments. I said that Jamaicans are accepting people. They are really, really accepting people. Okay, look at the pattern, look at the trends, just look at the pattern. This is Burna Boy. He went and performed in Jamaica. Then what happens? He got a big turnout, the biggest turnout. Okay, the biggest support that he has ever gotten, ladies and gentlemen. He got a lot of love from the people of Jamaica. Okay, this is pure love. Pure love, best receptions in the world. I'm so happy that in one way or the other, my sentiments are always correct. What I prophesy, I don't prophesy zero things. I don't come here and murmur things that I do not know about. Okay, I come here, say things, and then later on, a video comes and supports my sentiments. That's one thing that I love. I say here's one thing, then we will see a clip coming and supporting exactly what I said. I said that Jamaicans have one of the best receptions in the world. They are accepting people. Look at what is happening here with Burna Boy. When did they performed? When did performed in where? In Jamaica, Jamrock. Then what happened? He wants to purchase. Why do you think he wants to purchase a home, ladies and gentlemen? Why do you think? Number one is the turnout. The turnout was very good. The turnout, that means the turnout, when Jamaicans came to watch him, it was super nice. Super, super, super nice. Okay? Now, this guy goes ahead and talks about crime in Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? And he's even mentioning about, travel ban that was issued against Jamaica. Now, listen to this audio, and then I'm coming to react after this.
Crime in Jamaica is so bad that America issued this last month. U.S. State Department issued a travel.
I just want to put a disclaimer out there. When I put these videos up, okay, I do not mean to intentionally create a friction in between these two countries. I know Trinidad and Jamaica are amazing countries. They are good countries, right? Jamaica being my favorite country. Okay, I know there are things that are in Jamaica and they are not in Trinidad. Likewise, there are things that are in Trinidad and they are not in Jamaica. So what I'm doing here, I am just reacting based on what this gentleman, okay, is presenting. Ladies and gentlemen, I am just reacting on the events. I'm just reacting on what he's saying and adding my own insightful thoughts. Okay, so as this guy was still going on, okay, and for some reason, he was bigging up Jamaica. But towards the end, he said something, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, he said this video was made in 2022. Okay, just to point it out there. This video was made in 2022 when USA had issued a travel advisory towards Jamaica. Okay, and he said now, look at the crime level in Jamaica. This is the trini man. Okay, the crime level in Jamaica is very high. The trini man. These are the trini man's word. And he's saying again, USA has issued a travel advisory against Jamaica. But what is going on? Well, how comes that Jamaicans are doing better than us? How comes Jamaicans are beating us in our own game? Yet our GDP is high. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not my words. These are the Trini man's words, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, take a listen and on what he's putting out here.
We have more money than them. Our GDP, look at Trinidad is. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th on the list.
Sometimes the GDP might not be a true representation or a true indicator of productivity of a country. Ladies and gentlemen, okay? Because things on the ground might be very different. You are even asking yourself this question, okay? You are even asking yourself this question. How is it possible, okay, that we are beating up Jamaica in the GDP, but at the same time, Jamaicans are also, but on the ground, Jamaicans are beating us in our own games.
7th on the list. Jamaica is at the bottom. Jamaica is in the see more section. You have to click see more about.
Okay, they are beating us in sports. They are beating us even in tourism. They are beating us in business, because tourism is business. Okay, and Jamaica is the most famous country in the Caribbean, ladies and gentlemen. It's an exit point of other surrounding islands. That is my point. That's my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. So you see, sometimes the GDP might not be a true representation. Okay, GDP is the gross domestic product. Okay, total value of goods and services a country produce and sell in a year. Okay, some people say quarterly. Okay, it's just like a shop. When you sell your goods every day, okay, then in a year you want to, anyway, I don't want to go so much. This is not a finance class. Okay, I'm just reacting on things, on what this gentleman is putting it out there, ladies and gentlemen. You see, okay, things on the ground, they are quite different. Things on the ground, they are quite different. Just even here in Kenya, ask any random person, which is the most famous country in the Caribbean, they will tell you it's Jamaica. Okay, the productivity of Jamaica is so high, even though maybe their GDP might be very low, but they push themselves to the limit. They are very confident. Okay, just like the way Kenyans are. Kenyans, we are also very confident. We also push ourselves to the limit, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we need to interlink. Kenyans and Jamaicans need to come together and interlink.
Jamaica has been beating us in music. Our most popular and famous musician can't come.
Sports and music. Jamaica is also leading in education. They have the highest numbers of nurses, teachers, and even baristas, especially with the baristas. There are a lot of Jamaicans who are lawyers. Jamaicans are so much interested with justice. If there are people who are so much concerned with justice, it's the Jamaican people. That's why they have a lot of baristas, ladies and gentlemen. And the argument will be, okay, if you're saying that there are more nurses and doctors who are Jamaicans, then why is it that Jamaica is calling out for nurses to come out and fill out these positions in Jamaica? You see, I said there are a lot of Jamaicans who are nurses and doctors spread out in different nations, ladies and gentlemen, spread out in different, countries. Okay, there's a labor pool force from the Jamaican people, in different parts of the world. Yes, Jamaica has high number of doctors, nurses, pilots, or aeronautical engineers, and even baristas. Okay, but most of them you might find they do not live in Jamaica. Most of them maybe they live in Australia, Canada, USA. Okay, but these guys are also just as good in education. They are very intelligent, very smart. And when it comes to sport, they are also doing good. When it comes to culture, look at culture, the Rastafarian culture. Look at how it has transversed across so many nations, ladies and gentlemen. Just like Kenyans, because also Kenyans, we're also very educated, good in sports like long distance running, hurdles,